right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting, the City of Casa Grande, on this Monday, May 15th. We'll call the meeting to order. Our first item on our agenda is our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. We'll do them both at the same time, although first we'll do the invocation. We have tonight with us Pastor Jonathan Berkey from the Trinity Lutheran Church. And then please remain standing and we'll do the pledge.
Please join me in prayer. Gracious God and Heavenly Father, what a privilege it is to gather together tonight. We thank you so much for the many blessings you pour out upon us, most especially for this nation that we live in, the freedoms that we enjoy, for our state, for the city of Casa Grande. Lord, we thank you so much for all who serve, for our mayor, for our council, for the staff, for our police officers, firefighters, and all who protect and daily serve us. Lord, may your blessings be poured out abundantly upon them. Tonight, as we gather in meeting and to discuss the business of our city, may you give guidance and direction and wisdom to each of those gathered here. Lord, may your spirit dwell amongst us, and may we, as we gather, even in times of disagreement, may we come to good decisions that bring glory to you and are for the good of all in our city. Lord, we ask your presence in this meeting tonight and your many blessings be poured out upon our city, Casa Grande. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Jonathan. Thank you, Mr. Lavender. All right, let the roll call show that all council members are present. Next is our minutes.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve the minutes of the City Council meeting, regular meeting on May 1st, 2023. The Arts and Humanities Commission regular meeting on April 4th, 2023. The Planning and Zoning regular meeting on April 6th, 2023. The Planning and Zoning regular meeting minutes of April 20th, 23. The Historical Preservation Commission regular meeting minutes on March 27, 23. The Board of Adjustments regular meeting on November 8, 2022. The Board of Adjustment regular meeting minutes on April 11, 2023. And the Police Personnel Retirement Board regular meeting minutes on March 16, 2023.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. We'll move to next item, which is D1.
Mayor McFarland, I move to accept and pay the claims dated April 26th to May 9th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Claims are approved. Item E, meeting agenda approval. Larry, I think we have some changes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we do have two changes this evening. At the request of the applicant, items L4 and L5 are being removed from the agenda. For those of you without an agenda, item L4 is the Casa Blanca Minor General Plan Amendment, and item L5 is the Casa Blanca Planned Area Development, or PAD. These items will be rescheduled at a date to be determined once we meet with the applicant.
All right. Does anybody else have anything else?
Mayor McFarland, would you have something else?
Move reports in front of executive session.
Oh, yeah. We do have an executive session tonight, so I'm going to move item N to follow the item L. So just prior to item M.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved as changed. We do have some special presentations tonight. We have three of our employees who are retiring. Tonight we have David Ingstrom from the Police Department and Claudio Garcia, our Parks Senior Maintenance Department, and then also Susan Blythe from our Safety Risk Management. So I'm going to come down front. I happen to have some gifts for them. and we'll go from there.
Sergeant.
I prefer Dave. Dave's pretty good, so. Well, that's fancy. Perfect.
So let me just kind of give it, this is it's not a mini roast, it's just a, although it should be. This could be a long roast. But tonight, first of all, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And the first, Sergeant Engstrom, who's retiring later this week with 23 years of service here with the city of Casa Grande. Dave was a U.S. Army veteran. He began his career at the police department on March 20th of 2000, coming here from our neighbors in Eloy. He's been a police sergeant since 2007. During his career, Dave has a variety of special assignments, and they are numerous, so bear with me. First, and perhaps the most visible, he's been a certified motor officer since 2004, field training officer and CPR instructor, SWAT team member, K-9 unit supervisor, community response team sergeant, member of the mayor's task force on homelessness, critical accident investigative team. Dave he's the jack of all trades. If I wanted to know about something that was going on in town or downtown, Dave's the guy that I would ask. He knows where all of the homeless people live. That's a good thing, but it's an important thing, and so he really is the heart and soul, really, of our core here in Casa Grande. And is past recipient of Officer of the Year, Supervisor of the Year, and the Tate Lynch Spirit of Service Award. So, Dave, on behalf of the City Council, myself, the City of Casa Grande, all of your police officers, thank you and congratulations, really.
I've had fun.
I have to say that, I work hard, but the city's taken really good care of me. I really can't complain. I know I've put Chief Huddleston through a lot of troubles over the years. It did pay off, and I actually feel pretty satisfied. I'm glad I didn't go to Phoenix or Mesa or Chandler. I thought about that after Eloy. But I'm glad that I stayed here because I think I made an impact.
I think you did.
I think crime's controllable. You just have to want to work and do it right. But I've actually really enjoyed things. The city's taken tremendous care of me. I've had a lot of fun, and I really have no complaints whatsoever.
So you get to stay in town?
I'll be staying, but for a little bit, for a while.
Congratulations. Claudio, you here? Nope, here he is, right? Good bit, maybe you're a snake. So, Claudio Garcia, he retired last week from the Community Services Department after 30 years of service. Claudio began his career with the city in the Public Works Sanitation Collection Division on March 29th of 1993. Although he did some work as a temporary employee for the Parks Maintenance in 1992 and 1992 and 1993, he was promoted to Equipment Operator 1 in 1994. Then he transferred to the Parks Maintenance Division in May of 1995. He was promoted to Senior Maintenance Worker in 1997. Claudio's seen and experienced firsthand the growth in the parks and open spaces in the city. He's been part of the team and has been challenged to keep those looking good to enhance the quality of life in our community. And I can't overemphasize how important this man's job has been, especially with the number of parks that the city of Casa Grande has. It's a daunting task to keep them all looking good. And really, on behalf of the city council, myself, your fellow workers, and the citizens of the city of Casa Grande, congratulations on your retirement.
One more, Larry's got one. Do you want to say a couple words?
Sure would.
Or you don't need it if you don't want it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll speak loud enough, but again, also, first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for have given me this grace to achieve this honor, completing 30 years of service with the city of Casa Grande. Also, overcoming the obstacles that I put on myself. I started the journey with the city of Casa Grande. I was in high school under a program the city used to honor, the JPTA program, in the summer of 1986 through 1990, working for Parks and Rec. My parents signed me up for. The work ethics my dad bestowed in me paid off. I started a full-time career in sanitation, then transferred to Parks and Rec, now 30 years later. What a blessing. The city of Casa Grande provided me with so much: employment, an income, and now a pension. Now reflecting the memories I made with employees and the projects I was in charge of. Even more, I had the opportunity to see and work with my big brother, Greg Garcia, who was in charge of sanitation. Sadly, he had passed on. My proudest project I was in charge of was the entrance signs to Casa Grande. They were Thornton Road, Maricopa Road, Highway 84, and Jimmy Kerr. I'm still glad they're still standing. One of my greatest memories God and the city of Casa Grande will leave me. I was telling my father, who I recently lost, "Dad, I'm getting ready to retire." He asked me, "What day did you get hired?" I told him 3/29/93. He said, "That's interesting. I was discharged from the Army in 3/29/68. He served in Vietnam, a proud soldier for our country. Thank you again, God, the city of Casa Grande, and my parents, Raul and Maria Garcia. Everyone, God bless, and stay in prayer. Thank you.
So finally, tonight, we have Susan Blythe, who retired on June, or is retiring on June 1st after 16 years of service in the Human Resources Department. HR Director Scott Barber has some comments he wants to make, but Susan, so you know this is not going to be good.
He didn't tell me he was going to do this, so.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mayor. You know, thinking about Susan Blythe's retirement from the city represents a unique circumstance in that the position that she holds of Safety and Risk Management Specialist was actually created 16 years ago. And if you do a little math, you can see that Susan is the only individual that's held this position. When I requested this new position of the city manager in this classification in fiscal year 2007-08, it was a recognition that the workload in the specific area of safety and risk management had grown to demand full-time attention to handle the wide variety of duties and responsibilities. These included from overall safety awareness for our employees to receiving claim information from citizens, working with assigned attorneys sometimes in litigation. When an employee's been injured on the job, it's been Susan who's helped them through the sometimes confusing process of filing a claim, getting needed treatment, and getting back to work. The city is a member of the Arizona Municipal Risk Retention Pool, and Susan is well known by the folks we deal with up there and certainly has earned and maintained their confidence that risk management issues in Casa Grande were being handled ably. Susan's leaving big shoes to fill. We're going to miss her in our office. She's meant an awful lot to me, to our department, and I can assure you to the city as well. Well, Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you.
I had it under control.
Thank you, Scott.
Saying I do now.
So Susan, on behalf of the City of Casa Grande, my fellow council members and myself and your co-workers as well, thank you so much for your hard work, your dedication. It is greatly appreciated and it will be missed.
Thank you.
Microphone is
Oh, thank you. Oh, boy.
I'll hold this for you. Oh, one more?
Oh.
One more.
Oh.
It just
Thank you. Oh, gosh, okay. I was doing real good. Thank you so much. Okay. Mayor and council, thank you very much. Nothing succeeds like success itself, and the city of Casa Grande has been a wonderful success story in my career. It has been a privilege and an honor to work for the city of Casa Grande for the last 16 years. I have enjoyed the time shared, friendships forged, and all the accomplishments throughout my time here. Thank you, Scott Barber and Larry Raines, for giving me the opportunity to gain experience both personally and professionally in this position. However, I will add, when I left that interview, I thought, that didn't go well. Obviously it did. Risk management has been a heck of a ride. And as a wise man said to me on more than one occasion, you just can't make this stuff up. To all the wonderful people with whom I've had the opportunity to meet and work with, Dave Engstrom, Carlos Garcia, oh my God, I can't, Claudio Garcia, I'm sorry. To all the wonderful people whom I've met, had the opportunity to work with, a heartfelt thank you. To my wonderful husband, who puts up with me, thank you for your continued love and support. I look forward to starting the next chapter of adventures with you. In closing, with respect, thank you again, City of Casa Grande, for a wonderful place to live and work. I made it.
So one last time, let's give it up for Sergeant Engstrom, Claudio Garcia, and Susan Blythe. Congratulations to you all, and may the next chapter in your life be a good one. All right, next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion and one roll call vote of the council. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Is there anyone on the council that would like to remove anything on the consent agenda? Anyone in the public would like to remove anything from the consent agenda? Put my glasses on so I can see. Larry, anything, staff, nothing? Okay. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor McFarland, I would move for approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right. The consent agenda is approved. Next item on our agenda is public comments. This is an opportunity to allow the public to address the council. Just as a reminder, these items that you bring forward are not on our agenda. If they are, then there is some public meeting opportunities to specifically speak about that item. But if it's on some other matter, then you may speak on it. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name, your address, and again, just a reminder that we can't make any comments on it because it's not an agendized item. So, is there any? I will open the floor. Is there anybody in the public who would like to address the city council? Okay. Seeing none, then I'll close the floor and we'll move to our first item I1. Kevin?
Thank you. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council approve the expenditure of funds to purchase equipment to complete Phase 4 of our traffic signal interconnect system project in an amount not to exceed $421,332. We recently implemented this traffic signal interconnect system in many of the signals in our system, and this is Phase 4 of that. The funds for this will purchase the adaptive control software for 8 traffic signals, 8 new traffic signal controllers, 16 new detection cameras, and other miscellaneous equipment. The intersections that are impacted for this particular phase of the project are the signals on Florence Boulevard that include Marshall Street, Cameron Street, and Camino Mercado. Also on Truckle Road at McCartney Boulevard, Cottonwood Lane, O'Neill, and Courtson Road. And then finally Cottonwood Lane at Thornton Road. Again, this is Phase 4 of our project, and hopefully we'll get this equipment installed and start to utilize it as quickly as we can to help keep our traffic system as efficient as we can. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any council member have any questions? And Kevin, just to pump more of a comment, and you can answer this. This will help coordinate the signals? Is that part of this program as well?
Yeah, so it gives us a lot of ability to look at the signals in real time, where those signals are learning the traffic and the flow of traffic between signals, and it helps to synchronize those signals so that they extend a green light if it looks like it's going to help efficiency through that corridor, or shorten a red light, or those types of things. So it's a dynamic system that we're still learning about, and as we add signals and the equipment, our system will become that much more efficient. You may have noticed some progression increases along the Florence Boulevard corridor this year, where you can actually, you'll hit a red, but then all of a sudden you'll get 4 or 5 greens in a row. That's that system starting to work. So we'll continue to enhance that throughout our city.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that, because it obviously helps traffic flow and keeps our traffic moving. Thanks, Kevin. All right, seeing no other questions or comments, then I will call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5538, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting the sole source provider offer from Clark Electric Sales, Inc., DBA Clark Transportation Solutions to provide Phase 4 of the Traffic Signal Interconnect Project, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing the execution of a contract.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approval of resolution number 5538 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next is item K. These are ordinances, resolutions requiring action by the council. We'll start with item K1. This is to consider canceling the regular council meeting of July 3rd as it falls on a Monday and the 4th is on a Tuesday and no one will be in town, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the cancellation of our meeting on July 3rd.
So moved.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll? Yeah, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. The meeting is canceled. Please note that on your calendar. On July 3rd, we will not have a meeting on our first meeting in July. Item K2 is consider adoption and proposal of fiscal year 23-24 employee classification plan. Assuming, Scott, you're going to give us an update on that, or well, we've seen it, but.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we're asking this evening for your approval of the proposed fiscal year 23-24 employee classification plan to be effective for the pay period, which includes July 1st, 2023. This particular exhibit this evening encompasses several aspects of what the proposal was that was presented to you previously in the budget hearings about what we're proposing to do with employee compensation for the upcoming fiscal year. As was explained previously, but to highlight to you this evening, it includes a 5% general adjustment for our employee pay plan. So our entire pay plan will go up 5%. Also, pay range assignment adjusted for 59 classifications. This is the result of our market study that was done, updating this for year number 3, year 2 beyond the original plan that was adopted. So both of these actions with what we call employee range step ownership. So our employees move through the assigned pay range based on annual evaluations, and they receive performance-based increases, and so they move from step 1 to step 11. And both of these options here recognize that the step that they've earned through the performance evaluation process, and they'll retain that as they move up. So it's a real pay increase for those individuals involved with both of those. Again, we've capped maximum range movement this year at 3 ranges. We've done that in the past as we look into the marketplace of the 16 cities and towns in the county that we compare ourselves with. In addition, the recommended plan includes new position titles for both several new positions and several reclassifications of existing positions or existing classes. In approving the staff recommendation, there are 2 other aspects of this that you will be approving. Both of them involve the general adjustment. And by policy, the general adjustment would be applied to mayor and council compensation, and we're also including the city judge compensation as well. So your action this evening will make changes to both of those as well. The recommendations included herein address the adopted fiscal stability and sustainability strategic plan goal of utilizing the classification and compensation system to benchmark job positions against midpoint of the salary range with the market, to help the city of Casa Grande attract and retain qualified workforce. The proposed budgets individually of all of our departments include the necessary funds to implement the recommendation that's before you this evening, and I'll stand to answer any questions that you might have.
Go ahead, Bob.
Just a comment. This does represent a rather healthy increase across the board. And as a former employee, I have lived through times when that wasn't possible. And so I want to say I'm proud to be able to vote yes on this and extend that to our employees. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you, Scott. All right, seeing no other comments or questions, then I will call well, this is actually not a call for anything. We just need to approve it. So I'll entertain a motion to consider the adoption of proposal fiscal year 23-24 employee classification plan effective for the pay period, which includes July 1, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. It is adopted. Next is item K3. This is a resolution. This is actually our tentative budget. So it's back to you, Roberta.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
No pressure.
Thanks. I'll be presenting the 2024 tentative budget tonight. So on the agenda, we actually decided to go ahead and take out the strategic plan overview, so I'm sorry for not updating that slide. What we'll be doing is the tentative budget overview, the FY 23-24 revenue projections, personnel cost overview, the FY 23-24 expenditure summary, capital improvement projects, and then the budget calendar. Our budget theme: through a renewed commitment and alignment with the long-term strategic plan, we will focus on open communication, teamwork, trust, self-awareness, results, and accountability to improve our community's quality of life, civic pride, and provide quality jobs. Here's our mission. I'll leave that up for a little bit. And now we'll go into the tentative budget overview. Today's highlights. Tonight we'll focus on the operational capital improvement program budgets. Budgets maintain a current level of service with minor reorganization in some departments. Proposed general fund expenditure budget is total of $66.8 million, an increase of $4 million over the current fiscal year. Proposed expenditure budget across all funds is $274 million. Budget includes FY24 proposed funding of capital improvement projects totaling $148.6 million. And then personal expense, merit and step increase for eligible positions is an average of 3.25%. Remains the same as FY23 in retirement employer contributions for both sworn and non-sworn. This would be ASRS and PSPRS. There is an anticipated change in healthcare insurance coverage and cost. Major assumptions: expenditures and personnel, merit step increase of 3.25% for eligible employees. Total personnel cost is $50.6 million. This also includes overtime and staffing pools for part-time non-benefited staff and seasonal staff. Pension retirement rates, Arizona State Retirement System is 12.29%. Fire personnel employer contributions, Tier 1 and 2 members are at 12.89%. Tier 3 members are at 12.63%. Police personnel employer contribution rate, Tier 1 and 2 members are at 10.10%, and Tier 3 members are at 9.56%. On the revenue side, no proposed increase in local state tax rate. We'll maintain the primary property tax rate, an increase of 0.0204, and secondary property tax rate for the annual debt service. Local sales tax revenue based on a 5-year trend adjusted conservatively for the possible legislative actions and/or economic downturn. Impacts the general fund, capital construction fund, youth fund, and recreation fund. General fund, state shared revenues for FY24 numbers come from transaction privilege tax, the city sales tax, urban revenue sharing, income tax, state shared sales tax, auto and lieu, this is the VLT, and the highway user revenue funds. The FY23-24 revenue projections. This is the primary property tax rate with the truth in taxation analysis for FY24. As you can see, the current property tax rate is $4,428,505. The net assessed valuation is $512,153,46. Value of new construction is $18,988,540. The net assessed value minus the new construction is $493,163,946. The minimum tax rate that can be imposed without a truth in taxation is 0.8980. However, for the FY24, we will be doing the truth in taxation hearing. So with the truth in taxation hearing, the proposed primary tax levy will be $4,938,900, with the rate remaining the same as FY23. The proposed percentage increase in the primary tax levy will be 7.39, and the increase of the primary property tax levy exclusive of new construction is $327,164. The proposed primary tax levy in a home value of $100,000 is $96.43. Here's the truth in taxation notice. Though this will be published in the Casa Grande Dispatch on May 18th and the 27th. And this is per Arizona Revised Statute 42-17107. Here's the combined property tax rates. So in here, this is a glance at FY22, FY23, and FY24. The secondary property tax increased by 0.0204 cents from FY23. This is due in part to the net assessed value of $512,153,486 versus FY23, where it was $459,245,536. The difference of $53 million. Here's a breakdown from Pinal County as where the property taxes are going. Pinal County has 24%, cities and towns get 7%, school districts get 40%, the college, Central Arizona College, gets 14%, and special districts get 15%. Here's the major general fund revenue sources from year to year. Our property taxes are $4.8 million in FY23. FY24, we're proposing they're $4.9 million. Local state sales tax at FY23 is $33.2 million. In FY24, $30 million. Franchise fees are about the same, $1.5 million in FY23, and FY24 will be $1.5 million. License and permits in FY23 are $2.4 million. FY24, again, they'll be $2.4 million. In intergovernmental revenue, FY23 is $21.1 million. In FY24, we're projecting $28.8 million. Charges of services in FY23 is $3 million. In FY24, we're projecting $3.8 million. For fines and forfeitures, $579,792 for FY23. FY24, we're projecting $478,895. The investments earning for FY23 is $1.6 million. For FY24, we're projecting $1.4 million. And other revenues for FY23, $562,760. For FY24, we're looking at $636,173. Here's the fund's revenue expenditures and transfer summaries. So as you can see, with FY24, we're actually projecting a total of all funds of $136,552,753. The total that's in all funds. Just total governmental funds is $108,327,540, and all our proprietary funds will be $28,225,214. Here's the consolidated fees of the annual renewal rates and fees. All the departments who are charged of rates and fees for services, enterprise governmental activities and services focused on fair and reasonable rates and structures. Based on the cost of providing services, operating expense, reserve requirements, debt service, capital requirements, appropriate recovery rate, customer-based collections, and cash flow. Based on these needs, our residents are residential versus commercial, full-time versus seasonal residents, and fixed-income residents. In FY24, the changes in the consolidated fees is airport is increased by all fees by 3%. City court removed the default fee of $52. City manager, we're increasing the electricity charge per kilowatt in the charging station. Finance decreased the peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants fees. Emergency service, or ground transportation, we're adding the new category. Planning and development increased various fees to reflect actual cost of service. Police, we've changed various wording to clarify fees. Sanitation, we removed recycling fees as these are no longer offered, and removed new container fees. Wastewater, we added fees and clarified different types of disposal. Personnel overview. Here are the authorized personnel positions by fiscal year. In FY21, we had 452.55 positions. FY23 is 441.5. In FY23-24, we have 472 positions, reflecting a 30.5 change. We have 30 new positions, 3 unfrozen positions, and we maintain 4 unfunded positions citywide. These positions, authorized positions, do not reflect part-time non-benefit positions and the police recruits. Here's the personal expenditures by all funds. So the total of personal expenditures, $45.6 million. This does not include overtime or part-time non-benefited staff. Employee salaries and hourly costs are $35.6 million. Other benefits are $3.5 million. Health insurance or health care costs are $2.2 million. Retirement costs are $4.2 million. Healthcare changes for FY23. City is transitioning to an employee benefit package from United Healthcare to Cigna effective July 1. The Cigna rates per plan represent an overall increase of 0.67% from the policy year 22-23 rates. The FY23-24 expenditure summary. Here's the expenditure summary limited comparison. For FY23, our limitation comparison. So in FY23, we had the EEC expenditure limitation of $248,122,300. In FY24, it's $277,989,333. FY24, we projected general fund balance. So for transfers in, it all transfers in and out, is $32.3 million. The available will be $36 million. The revenue stabilization is $38.7 million. General fund balance available will be 54% of expenditures. The general fund expenditures by categories, you can see personnel expenses, $41.2 million. Miscellaneous expense will be $1.8 million. Materials and supplies will be $2.9 million. Contingencies reserved will have $4.6 million. Contractual services, $16.1 million. Budgetary proposed changes, $11,500. Capital outlay, $27.3 million, and transfers out will be $32.3 million. Here's a glance at the general fund expenditures by department. Here's the FY23-24 expenditures by department, and this is from our official budget form, Schedule F. Public Works has $156 million. Economic Development is $308,458. Human Resources is $2.1 million. Finance is $6.6 million. Legal is $1.2 million. City Clerk is $604,350. City Manager's Office is $14.9 million. Our General Operations is $23.6 million. Mayor and Council is $504,297. City Court is $1.5 million. Fire is $28.1 million. Police is $15.3 million. Communications is $2.2 million. Community Services is $13.8 million. Community Development is $1.9 million. And Planning and Development is $5.2 million. Here's expenditures by fund. This is also from my official budget forms in Schedule E. Capital projects is the bulk of the expenditures at $69.7 million. Debt service is $10.5 million. All other special revenues is $7.5 million. Grants is $6 million. HERF is $18 million. General fund is $66.8 million. Internal service funds is $7.6. Water is $1.2. Golf is $1.8. Wastewater is $75.6 million. And sanitation is $9.1 million. Capital improvement projects. This is the FY24 capital improvement projects by department. Public Works has $119 million in capital improvement projects. Police has $1.1 million. Planning and Development is $2.6. Fire is $13.6 million. Financial Services is $1.8. Community Services $3.9. Communications $119,417. And City Managers is $6.3 million. Here's the FY24 capital improvement projects by fund class. The enterprise funds, $63.8 million in capital improvement projects. Capital projects fund, $69.4 million. Special revenue funds is $13.4 million, and internal service funds is $1.9. Here's a look at our budget calendar. So here in May, we're doing the tentative budget. Tentative budget will be posted for public review. In June, we have the public hearing for the FY24 proposed tentative budget, and we'll have a special meeting to adopt the FY24 final budget. And in July, we'll have the final budget posted and FY24 begins. For primary and secondary property tax, in May, we have the City Council workshop regarding the property tax levy rate recommendations. We have a deadline to post the notice to consider any increase of property tax levy and rates. In June, if any increase will be considered to post the truth and taxation notice. The truth and taxation notice will be actually posted in May. The public hearing of FY24 proposed property tax levy and rates. In July, FY24 begins. We'll be adopting the FY24 property tax levy rates at the first reading, and the final adoption of the FY24 property tax levy and rates will be the second reading in July. The key dates, tentative budget, today is May 15th, posted to the city's website, tomorrow, May 16th. Publication of the FY24 budget, property tax levies, truth and taxation, and notice of public hearings. The first publication of the truth and taxation will be May 18th, 2023. First publication of the tentative budget, property tax levies, notice of public hearings will be May 22nd, 2023. The second publication of the truth and taxation will be May 27th, 2023. The second publication of the tentative budget, property tax levy notices and public hearing will be May 29th, 2023. Public hearing of the FY24 budget and property tax levy will be on June 5th, 2023. Special meeting to adopt the FY24 budget, June 19th, 2023, posted to the city's website on June 26th, 2023. We'll adopt the property tax levy. The first reading will be June 19th, 2023, and the final reading will be July 17th of 2023. Staff recommendations to adopt the resolution to set FY24 tentative budget per the attached schedules. Direct staff to publish the notices for the purpose of a budget, tax levy hearing, and budget adoption, and authorize the action of contingency expenditures. The next action is scheduled for a public hearing on June 5th, and the schedule of adoption is June 19th. I'll answer any questions if there is any.
A lot of work went into this. Thank you, Roberta. And to you, Larry, and your staff. I know we sit through a budget retreat on this whole thing, so I know we've seen this a couple times. But if there's any questions or comments from council?
Not so far.
Okay.
Just a comment on Roberta. Thank you for coming in and moving forward on this. We know it's been tough with Angel leaving, and so thank you for being there.
It's my pleasure, anytime.
You did a good job, too, by the way.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right. Seeing none, then I'll entertain a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5539, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, adopting the tentative estimates of the amount required for the public expenses for the city of Casa Grande for the fiscal year 2023-24, adopting a tentative budget, setting forth the receipts and expenditures, the amount actually levied, and the amount estimated as collectible for the previous fiscal year, and the amounts proposed to be raised by direct property taxation for the various purposes, and giving notice of the time for hearing taxpayers for adopting of budget and for fixing the tax levies.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve Resolution 5539 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, we'll move next on the agenda is our item Ls. This is our public meetings and public hearings. First item on the agenda tonight is L1. So this is Resolution 5540. Can you put your mic down,
You can't hear me?
Mary Ellen? Thank you.
I've never been accused of being quiet before. So, staff recommends the approval of the proposed program year 23 CDBG Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan based on the estimated allocation of $462,638. This is an increase of $16,381 from the previous year. In preparation of this year's annual action plan, a public hearing or meeting was held at Mondo Anaya Center on February 21st of 2023 with 10 participants in attendance. This public meeting notice was published in English and Spanish in the Dispatch and on the city website on 2/4/23. Comments and discussions during the public meeting were related to economic development program, work from home opportunities, adult mentors, homeless prevention, intervention, senior programs, domestic violence programs, housing rehabilitation / emergency home repair, wheelchair ramps, child care, after-school and breaks on summer and school winter breaks, and street improvements. The CDBG application period was open from February 22nd through March 16th. Applications were posted on city website and emailed to agencies per request. Upon review and evaluation of all submitted applications, the review committee is making the following recommendations to be included in the program year 2023 annual action plan. And as you know, the CDBG national objectives, they have to benefit the low to moderate income persons, aid in the prevention and elimination of slums and blight, or meet a need having a particular urgency referred to as urgent need. I just included this map this evening. That the dark blue is showing our low to moderate income areas in Casa Grande. So if we're to do any street improvements, park improvements, that type thing, it has to be in the dark blue areas. So our applications that we reviewed them all, the recommendations from the committee, every application was recommended or is being recommended for funding. Seeds of Hope, the Angeles de Esperanza Senior Connections Program, level funding at $16,920. The Boys and Girls Club of the Sun Corridor Lencola Scholarship Program, level funding at $4,725. Casa Grande Police Department Homeless Intervention went down a little bit, $6,615. The Opportunity Tree for Supportive Aging Program was $7,560. That was level funding. Community Action Human Resource Agency for the Casa Grande Homeless Services was a slight increase for $15,332. And Against Abuse for Housing and Support for Abuse Victims, that was a slight increase of $18,243. The public infrastructure improvements, sidewalk and ADA improvements in the west side, the City of Casa Grande Public Works Department is recommended for funding for $118,077. City of Casa Grande Community Development Division for owner-occupied housing rehab program for $75,000. Code Enforcement Officer at $69,503. Facility improvements at the Opportunity Tree Facility, $38,135, and Planning and Administration for $92,527. So I just want to highlight a few things. The annual action plan was published and was available for review for 30 days, and from April 2nd through May 1st, and there were no comments received. So I'm happy to report that, because you just never know what the public is thinking and if they want to change anything or recommend changing. But I wanted to highlight the Opportunity Tree. This is their creative aging program. Actually, this was just taken this morning, where they're doing creative aging activities, trying to get the folks help with dementia prevention a little bit here. But this gentleman posed for a picture for us. So Albert Cruz Park, this is a project that the Public Works Department is undertaking right now. It's right next to Seeds of Hope on the west side. And it's not all the way completed, but it's getting there. And then this is a project for our owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program, the before and after picture of a bathroom. This was a 90-year-old gentleman that had some, obviously, difficulties getting in and out of the bathtub shower area, so we made it a walk-in shower for him. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Council, have any questions? All right, thank you. And this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing if anybody is here to speak on item L1. This is our Community Action Block Grant Program, which is a federally funded program that Mary Ellen manages, her and her staff manage it. All right, well, seeing none, then I'll close the public hearing, and we will call for a resolution number, please. Gloria.
Resolution number 5540, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, adopting the Community Development Block Grant Program Year 2023 Annual Action Plan.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5540 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. Thanks, Mary Ellen. All right, next is item L2. It's also a public hearing item. This is on ordinance number 1178.433.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Capital R Construction is requesting a zone change from the B2 zone district to B3 for approximately 0.5 acres of land located at 1654 North Pinell Avenue. You'll all be familiar with it as Dell's Pizza. The zone change is being requested to allow for front setback relief to expand the restaurant and upgrade the premises. That does include making the restrooms ADA accessible. The site's within our community corridor land use category, which encourages properties to be within that B3 zoning category. The zone district allows property owners to push the buildings and architecture forward to the street. That's part of our general plan. You can see in our general plan, we list that buildings should embrace the street and public sidewalk, located as close to the front setback as appropriate, and placing parking and other secondary uses behind or on the sides of the building, which is exactly what Dell's has done since its existence. You can see our general plan and community corridor. Existing zoning is B2, proposed zoning is B3. In looking at the review criteria, we look at the following 3 criteria. All have been covered in the staff report that you were provided. I'm just going to highlight just one action step. I covered the general plan stuff earlier, but the action is consistent with the city's general plan, including the following goals and policies. Action step CC 1.1, take action to promote site design features, reduce front setbacks, and building placement that approaches and embraces the public sidewalk and streets. In regards to notification, staff met or exceeded those required by city code. We did not receive any comments on this particular request. The Planning Commission on a 4-0 vote recommends City Council approve the zone change request from B2 to B3. Can I answer any questions?
Question from the council? All right. Seeing no questions from council, then this is a public hearing, so I will open the floor to item L2. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the council on this particular issue, this is your opportunity. All right, seeing no one jump up, then I will close the public hearing, and I'll call for an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 1178.433. An ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending zoning ordinance 1178 and its subsequent amendments by changing the zoning from general business B2 to central business B3 on property generally located at 1654 North Pinell Avenue, Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mayor McFarland, I move that we approve ordinance number 1178.433 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item on our agenda is item L3. This is also a public hearing, and this is a designation of Valley Pump and Machine Works sign, which is really the side of their building, as a local historic landmark. Jacqueline, is this yours?
This is mine. Good
All
evening,
right.
Council. So this site is located at 701 West 2nd Street. It has been an existing location since 1937, and it's for 4 signs painted on the building as shown below in this image. And this was part of the 2016 sign survey recommendation. So going over the review criteria, these 4 items is part of the review that staff does. They're all covered in the staff report. However, I will go over a little more of the highlighted items. So with regards to the landmark sign criteria, the historic sign survey did create this criteria. So signs must be over 40 years old, display a unique or novel design, display good integrity, and contribute to the context of where a sign enhances the environment. And based on this criteria, the landmark sign designation, the Valley Pump and Machine Works sign complies with all the required criteria. I did want to also point out that landmark sign designation does not reduce its normal sign allocation for the existing building, so they'll still be allowed their additional signage. So with that, regarding public notifications and comments, set by city code, notice was published in the dispatch, as well as notices were mailed to property owners within 300 feet. I did not receive any comments or inquiries to date. And then the Historic Preservation Commission recommended the City Council designate the Valley Pump and Machine Works signs as a local historic sign landmark. Happy to answer any questions the commission may or council may have.
This building is owned by Gallo Construction?
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they are on board with this
Yes,
historic
they're supportive of this.
designation? Because
Yes.
it comes with some restrictions for them. They had to sign off on it?
Yes, they signed off on it, yes.
All right. Just check and make sure Jeff knows what he's doing. Okay. And I wanted to give somebody in the audience a hard time, so that's all right. All right, any other comments from council?
Just a comment.
Sure.
I was actually happy to see this because every time I drive by that building, I just love that building. And it's just a piece of history when you drive by. And so it's a little different because it's on a building and the siding of a building, right?
Right,
Do we
right.
have any other historic landmarks with signage on a building like this?
That's painted?
The Elks had on the building as well.
The Elks?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was great.
Well, I think it'll improve too, because we're going to do sidewalk improvements along there as well to finish the underpass and bring the sidewalk along the side of this building, so it'll make it look much nicer. And I know Jeff was talking about maybe even improving the fencing along there to make it, kind of bring it all together. So it'd be nice cleanup of that area, so yeah, I'm excited as well.
Yeah, it's a great building.
All right, any other comments from council? All right, seeing none, this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing for item L3. If there's anyone here, this is your opportunity to address the council on this particular item. Please give us your name and your address, please.
Okay, Marge Jantz, 901 North Morrison Avenue, representing Grande Central Station at the Neon Sign Park. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. We are pleased for the Valley Pump and Machine Works painted signage to become the 11th local sign landmark in Casa Grande. Currently, the building owner, Jeff Van Heis, is out of town. And yes, he did sign all the paperwork. I'm speaking on his behalf this evening. Jeff is a former Historic Preservation Commissioner, so he understands the value of what we're doing here. And he is going to be pleased to receive this designation. The designation actually is a catalyst for creating a Casa Grande roadside attraction over there. And I'm going to explain that to you. Jeff is planning on pouring a cement pad in front of the building, not appropriately sized. He's planning on going up to the Northwest this summer and picking up his dad's really old, really cool red truck and towing it back down here and putting that on the pad. And he is going to, as you say, he is going to take down the chain link fence. So basically, he's going to be sprucing up the place. And it's really going to create a wonderful photo opportunity for people that get over there on the new sidewalks. His property, as you all know, is located just a few hundred feet before entering the new art and history project at the Highway 84 underpass. So it's just, it really is going to be another roadside attraction for the downtown. And I'm excited about it. He's excited about it. And all of this is really good for the downtown, and it's really good for saving Casa Grande sign history. So we recommend a yes vote. Thank you.
I'm not sure how Jeff could tell you no anyway, Marge. All right, anyone else? The public hearing is still open. All right, seeing no one else, then I'll close the public hearing and I'll call for an ordinance number, please. Gloria.
Ordinance number 3374, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, designating the Valley Pump and Machine Works sign as a local historic landmark and authorizing the city clerk to record all documents necessary to effectuate this ordinance with Pinal County Recorder's Office.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of ordinance number 3374 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, the next two items on our agenda were pulled earlier, so L4, L5 have been pulled off the agenda, so the last public hearing we have is item L6.
All right. This is going to be the Greenfield Commerce Park annexation. The request is for a public hearing on the proposed Greenfield Commerce Park annexation of 39.7 acres, comprised of two parcels. It's generally located west of Burris Road and south of Peters Road. You can see it highlighted on your screen. It's across the street from the Tractor Supply Distribution Center. In regards to the annexation process, this area is a logical and appropriate annexation area regarding the current boundary of the city of Casa Grande. The area meets all legal requirements for annexation as set forth in the Arizona's revised statutes. A blank petition and associated annexation map were filed with Pinal County on April 21st, 2023. At this time, council is only being asked to conduct a public hearing on the proposed annexation. This public hearing is conducted in compliance with the requirement in ARS 9-471.8 to hold a public hearing within the last 10 days of the 30-day wait period that begins when the filing of the blank annexation petition is filed. In regards to the future steps for the annexation, petition signatures may be obtained from the owners of the land after the initial 30-day wait period has elapsed. So that date will be on May 21st. We can collect signatures from the owner. It is just a single owner. After signatures are collected, an annexation ordinance will be scheduled for council consideration. The first reading will happen on July 17th, second reading on August 7th, and then there's a 30-day cure period. ARS 9471L requires that the city annexing an area adopt a zoning classification that permits the same densities and uses and doesn't allow greater than those permitted by the county. So initially, this property will be zoned urban ranch as its general role in the county right now. However, we are processing a zone change application at the current time So you'll see it at the same hearing on July 17th, from that urban ranch zoning to the I-2 zoning district. Any questions?
Does anyone on council have any questions? Okay. Seeing none, then this is a public well, actually, yeah, it is for public hearing only, because we won't actually be making any decisions or recommendations tonight. So I will open the floor for a public hearing on item number L6. This is an annexation. All right, seeing no one come to the podium, then I will close the public hearing and we'll deal with it later. Next item, I did move the reports here to this next spot, so we'll start with reports. This concludes most of tonight's business other than the reports, so I'll start over here to my right. Bob?
Yes, sir. The only thing I have to report is I will be absent at our next meeting on June 5th. I'll be on vacation. I'm told I will have cell service, so I'm going to try to attend telephonically. If that doesn't work out, I would ask for a excused absence.
Okay.
That's all.
That's all?
That's all.
Lisa?
Not much. I just wanted to comment on the National Day of Prayer. That was a great, I came to the morning one here at City Hall, and it was so nice having small prayer groups, and there was a lady in there that asked for all of us to pray for a particular situation, and she contacted me today and told me that everything went well with that prayer and appreciated, you know, everything on that day. So, but it was a great event, and I know the mayor and Councilmember Edwards helped coordinate that. Graduations, it's been so exciting to see all the Casa Grande people graduating from colleges. High schools are coming up, but I attended a couple at ASU, of course. And, but no, so congratulations. I know Matt, his daughter graduated, you know, from college, but just great seeing all the great things that people are doing in the community. And then also just wanted to thank Councilmember Lavender. It's so exciting to see some of these kids coming back, and with Louis Ramirez coming back and being the athletic director at Vista, I was just so happy to see he went to school with my daughter and is such a great guy, and I'm so happy to see him coming back to Casa Grande. So thank you, Jeff, for making that happen. So that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Jeff?
Well, as Councilmember Fitzgibbon said, graduation is next week. CG Union will be Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. ANOVA will be Wednesday night at 7:30 at the Vista Grande Auditorium. And Vista Grande will have their graduation next Thursday night, the 25th at 8 o'clock. So we're excited. We're graduating just under 1,000 students this year. And then also tomorrow night, speaking of Louis Ramirez, he and Councilmember Edwards and Randy Robbins will be hosting our girls' football clinic, and we're excited. They have 12 games this coming up season. Their first game is going to be August, I think it's 28th.
Flag football, right?
Flag football, girls' flag football.
That's
and
great.
they're in the same division, and so we're excited to see how they will do this year. And congratulations to our new Casa Grande Union High School board member, Mr. Richard Wilkie back there, our economic director for the city. So congratulations, Richard.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. Matt?
Not much tonight. We got the Arizona Youth Government Summit a couple weeks ago. Had about 60 kids from around the county and around the state. Lots of good speakers, good activities. It went very successfully, so thanks to everyone who helped with that. And the kids planned it all, and it went fantastic. So it was a great day. And speaking of them, we are sending a delegation to the Arizona League of Cities to plan for the youth portion of the conference, so they can actually give their input and tell the adults what they really want to do instead of the adults just making a program for them. So that should be exciting to hear. I was going to say congratulations to Richard, too. Thank you.
Donna?
Just a couple of things. It is National Police Tribute Week, so thank you to all of our law enforcement. I had the opportunity on May 4th to attend the police memorial in Florence at the Sheriff's Department and pay tribute to Tate Lynch and Julie Lara. I very much appreciated seeing our staff there. Also attended the Day of Prayer. Thank you very much for putting that together. It was great. I was so proud of the Youth Commission, Matt, on May 6th, the summit. I know several of us were there. They did an awesome job, and it was encouraging to see some of the other youth in our county looking up to our kids. And I know that they had talked to me about helping with the 20-year anniversary of the Youth Commission that is coming up, so that ages me a little bit. But they really have stepped up, and they do a great job. And I can't say that they don't do it without you, because you have been there. So congratulations on that. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Donna. Anthony?
I'll be saying the same thing. National Day of Prayer was awesome. And that the youth summit I really enjoyed the panel as well. It reminded me when I was in the league and we would have our annual player engagement, player development meetings, and we'd do the big room, then we'd do breakouts. And in those breakouts, you learn a lot of those breakouts, and the youth, they did the breakouts. And I love that. And then you have the panel, and you did a great job with facilitating that. And so I just really enjoyed watching our youth. As you said, they're really the forerunners for the other cities that came and was involved. And so, but that was really, really, really good for our youth. And also, as Mr. Lavender said, we're going to enjoy ourselves on tomorrow as we have our flag football beginning with our girls. And we have some, believe it or not, some fast young ladies in Casa Grande that are outrunning some of the high school football players.
Of course.
And so I want to work with them in that competition. So looking forward to working with the youth.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. Well, tonight, just also I wanted to give a shout out, just especially considering it is, this is the National Police Week from May 14th through the 20th, but we did have 3 new sergeants recognized and promoted. So I just want to give a shout out to them, Sergeant Kyle Jackson, Sergeant Jeffrey McKean, and Sergeant Matthew Carter. So please, if you see them, give them your best and congratulate them. That is a big honor, and now they move up into management of our police department. So that's a good deal. Also, just a shout out to the chamber. The Casa Grande Chamber actually applied to the Arizona Corporation Commission to change their name. It's been for many, many years the Greater Casa Grande Chamber of Commerce, and now it is officially the Casa Grande Chamber of Commerce. So they shortened it. It's caused a lot of confusion in searches and some other things that we've discovered, especially in the new technology age that we're in today. Plus, it simplifies it. You'll see some changes in their logo and their signage. They're putting a new sign out the front of their door. They've cleaned up the inside. They're doing some work, and I think we're going to help them pave their parking lot here soon because it's about ready to fall apart. And they also just hired a new director for their destination marketing organization, which will be doing media outside the city of Casa Grande to promote our city and bring tourism into our community. And Marge, working with you and your historical group and all the new signage and the opportunities for taking pictures and making Casa Grande a unique place to come and visit. So it's pretty exciting to see, along with our new facelift on Florence and all the activities that we've got going. I think you'll see some good changes and some pretty progressive stuff. Historically still the same, but progressive in terms of new and cleaner and brighter ideas. So we're not making any wholesale changes, so don't send me any emails on that one. So, just a quick update also on the legislature. They're still in session, unfortunately. This is the 125th day of the legislature. The governor did approve and sign the budget last week. So that part is good and actually ahead of schedule. The biggest pieces are, there's a fire incident management fund that they set up for all of land fires that we've had. It's like $12 million. They've established a $25 million rural broadband accelerated fund, which will help some of the underserved areas, which we are one of them. There's a mentioned the fire, but this is fire incident management. There's a $32 million fire mitigation plan that they've put in place. $150 million in housing trust funds, $40 million in homeless shelter service fund, which we need to try and figure out how we can get some of that for your project, Lisa. And another $84 million in municipal firefighter reimbursement administration, and then an $84 million, well, excuse me, I already said that one. There's also a pretty large piece that's set aside for local roads. So there's a lot of money in a what was it, $12.7 billion budget that the state has. So keep an eye on your legislators and let them know what you think. Just a reminder, maybe put it on your calendars, there is a Project Connect. It's a little ways out, so you have time to plan for it. It's on July 21st. It is put together by the CG Helps community and Cara, our local community action housing group. It will be at St. Anthony's Community Center on, again, July 21st. It's from 9 to 12. If you know anybody who needs help, it's a great opportunity for them to go kind of shop the different services. I mean, everything from haircuts to identification cards. So it's a one-stop shop to help put things together and get them taken care of. If you heard in tonight's budget review, there was a comment that's made in which I've not seen in the budget before, and that is we have contingency dollars set aside to include legislative action. And it's a nice way of saying that the legislature, when they try and take money away from the cities and towns, we're trying to be prepared for that. But just note that your legislators have and will, and they passed it today. There's one that we'll probably lose $3 million in general revenue fund because of their actions today. So we will adjust and we will persevere, but let your legislators know your thoughts. And I won't interject my thoughts there. So anyway, that's all I've got. Anybody else okay? All right, seeing none, we will adjourn for executive session. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to move in executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll stand adjourned for a couple minutes till we clear the room. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.